How is everyone doing today? This is Nate, Commissioner here at the NPBF, here to bring you another D-League Season 9 Midseason interview. And today, I am joined by Max of the Georgia Granbulls. How are you, Max?
I'm alright. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, based on our conversation at the beginning of the season, you're new to draft leagues.
Yeah, I've heard about them quite a bit, but I've never actually joined them. This is definitely my first one.
Okay, so this definitely should be a fun interview. So before we get into your team and how things are going, where did you start off Pokemon wise? What brought you to this point now?
Let's see. Pokemon came out when I was about 8, so I'd say somewhere around that time.
Okay.
I've been playing since day one. I didn't get into competitive till real competitive till about Gen 4. I mean, I thought I was into competitive. Then I learned about IVs, EVs, all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, I know I took a break around Gen 3. Then I got back into it Gen 4. That's when I was pretty much started.
Okay, so it seems like based on the consensus, Gen 3 and Gen 4 seem to be all the people that have been playing for, decades at this point started in Gen 3 and Gen 4, and then everyone else started around like Gen 6.
Yeah, I'm pretty much one of the caveman Pokemon trainers.
Don't feel bad. I started in Gen 3. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Diamond, and Pearl were probably I don't want to say the peak of Pokemon, but for our generation, it was definitely it's up there in how high we regard it.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Okay, so your team, you drafted Marshadow, Victini, Hippowdon, Venusaur, Magnezone, Torkoal, Toxicroak, Scyther, Shuckle, Golduck, and Mega Pinsir. How has this team fared for you this season?
It's been doing pretty good. Victini has always pretty much been my go-to as far as general use. Venusaur is actually my favorite Pokemon, so I pretty much went with that. Mega Pinsir, it was always a good to me in Gen 7. Toxicroak was mainly for Clefable.
You fear Clefable.
Yeah. That if you ask me what's my least favorite Pokemon, I'll tell you Clefable every time.
Okay. I'm looking back at the transactions because I see it. You only have one transaction left. Initially,
I did? I thought I was out.
No, you have one left. You haven't made any since week 1 because you dropped Tangrowth for Magnezone, Espeon for Torkoal, Tentacruel for Venusaur, and Pimuku for Golduck. It looks like you had a really bulky Fire, Water, Grass core.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a firm believer in that.
Bulk over power.
I'm pretty balanced.
Okay. So
I'm not a stall user to say, but I'm not speeds. I don't concern with speed as often as most people do though.
yeah, there are a lot of teams that are just all speed and no power.
Oh yeah. I'm more like I'm usually use the mons like Nidoking or Venusaur. The ones that are not too fast, not too slow.
I mean, but you drafted Torkoal, so of course you were going to use Chlorophyll Venusaur at some point.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is an amazing ability for Venusaur.
Indeed.
So far, let's look at the division standings. Currently, as of week 6, you are tied for first in your division at 5-1. Unfortunately, you're number 2 in your division because your differential's at 10, while the one above you, who happens to be Tyler, also at 5-1, has a plus 28 differential.
Okay.
You've been, for this being your first draft league, you are making a statement. How does your week to week planning affect this outcome?
Shoot. Honestly, I just plan as I go, really. Not
Do you
very good
watch?
at planning.
Do you watch a lot of replays? Do you look for outside opinions to kind of see if maybe they see something you don't?
Uh, nah. I just,
Go with
I
the flow.
don't actually.
I mean, that makes you probably one of the hardest people to prep for, as you don't have a set. Because I've watched all of the battles up until week 6, and watching your battle specifically, you don't have a set you don't have a set pattern. Like, let's take Floyd, the number one person in the league currently. Every week, we know at least 2 of the more common sets are going to come for a couple of his mons. With your team, we don't get that notion.
Appreciate that.
Always, I mean, it's the honest opinion. I mean, outside of Marshadow and Victini and
Yeah.
Torkoal, we know those 3. They have set things that they're gonna do. I've seen Mega Pincer come maybe 4 times and actually get used. But I mean, you have dual weather, you have a good web and rock setter, you have someone who can stop boost, which is great, because if I see Floyd if I see Floyd Geomancy behind a sub again, I mean, overall, your team is probably one of the more harder teams to prep for. Because if you decide to bring Sand and they prep for Sun, now they're in trouble.
Yeah. That's one thing I do like to do is bring dual weather for reasons like that.
I mean,
Because
it's gonna make you a favorite in the main league, in the event you make it up. Because I know a couple of guys like running dual weather. Usually, I see T-Tar get picked over Hippolytan as far as a sand setter because it also gets Dragon Dance. But Hippolytan is a good bulky ground type.
I like it for the recovery and that whirlwind.
So, looking at the rest of the season, because currently week 7 should be continuing, what battles are you looking forward to for the rest of the season?
The Baltimore Corver Knights does make me a little concerned. I was thinking about that the other day.
Because of the Zernies, Lucha, and Rillaboom combo?
Yeah, and I saw that he's one of the few that has not lost a battle yet. So, and I saw that he has Klefki on his team, and that's always been a little fun to battle.
I mean, looking at his team and match up with yours. So, from the looks of it, 1, 2. It's good. His team is semi bulky. He has priority with Rillaboom. He has Lucha that can take advantage of it or act on its own, and Zernies. It'll definitely be a good matchup, 100%. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a great matchup. And you guys battle. What, I think it's week 10. No, week 9.
Yeah.
Week 9, you guys battle. So that definitely will cement essentially the standings. Currently, Floyd is on a record break. If he wins his week 8 battle, he will clinch a playoff spot, but not his division, because there's still a lot of games left. But so now that we're kind of about halfway through, did you honestly see yourself being tied almost for your division, or were you kind of like hoping that you'll do great, but you were expecting a few stumbles?
Really did not even expect anything really. To be honest, I haven't played much. I think I pretty much quit competitive since I want to say around the time the second DLC came out, or maybe the first one actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just recently, one of my friends got me into the draft league, and I tried it. And I've actually liked it. It's actually slowly been getting back into competitive.
I mean, honestly, draft leagues seem to be. You don't have to worry about VGC rules and going up against like Zashi and Crown on every team, but it also gives you something to build and plan around. I got into draft leagues because of fantasy football. I love fantasy football. It gives me something to do outside of just regularly watch the games. But since this is your first draft league, for those that are actually watching, what has your experience been? Good, bad, what can be improved? We are at the
I like it,
midpoint.
y'all. Oh yeah, I like it. Y'all can definitely see, y'all probably definitely want to see me more in the future.
I mean, we would love to,
I think that's also
keep you.
now that you mentioned, I think that's kind of what I like about the draft league. I ain't got to worry about seeing Lando on every other team or uh, Mark and I in every VGC team or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So, in the event you do make the playoffs, who is the one person you don't want to see on your way to finals? Because once you make finals, you are guaranteed a spot in the main league for next season.
So far, the one that's pretty much got my number is Stewart on the NZ Kings.
Really?
Yeah, he's definitely got my number.
That is interesting. Currently, Stewart is number 10 as of week 6 in the playoff standings. Currently, if the playoffs were to end today, the number 1 seed would, of course, be Floyd in the Corvin Knights. Number 2 would be Tyler in the Magic Hearts. By way of differential, you and him have the same record. Number 3 would be Jeremy in the Knights, and number 4 would be Alyssa in the Leopards. The number 1 wild card would be Devin in the McGuinness. You would be the number 2 wild card, as you and Devin both are at 5-1, but he has you by +3. Number 3 would be Jaden in the Victinis, and number 4 would be Matthew in the Strikers. So, if I'm looking at it correctly, you would be playing Jeremy in the Dragon Knights if the playoffs were to end today.
That's one of the few people I do know. Actually, I know he's a good battler.
I mean, so far this season has been extremely competitive. When you get a chance, go back through our playlist on YouTube and kind of just look at some of the other videos, and you'll kind of get the notion that the competitiveness and the quality of battlers has steadily increased as time wore on, which is fantastic. It's to the point now where we have a waiting list of people who want to get in to try drafting.
That's what I've heard.
I mean, if you would ask me, we're on season 9. I think like season
I
1
told
we
some of
had
my
8
buddy.
people.
Do what?
Season number 1 we had 8 people in D League. Main league was full. Season 1 was 8 people.
Oh yeah, I talked to some of my buddies in other chats. I told them I was in a draft league. They asked me which one. I told them NPBF, and they're just like, "Oh, dude, you're in that one." I was like, "Dang, okay."
I would say over the course of the last maybe year and a half, partnering with New Frontier has really kind of helped get our name out there. Not only that, a lot of the commissioners were in other groups and other draft leagues. And of course, our YouTube videos, they get posted on the page, they get posted on YouTube. And of course, we have Twitter. So I think our name is getting out there more and more. So it's good to hear that, their reaction was, "Oh, snap, you're in that draft league." And it was a positive reaction. So, any final thoughts, any wishes, anything you want to tell all the viewers out there about you?
I mean, I'm just gonna try to do my best. See how that goes.
And
I'm definitely happy I'm doing as well as I did. I thought I was going to be a little more rusty in that, but
Well, we're
yeah, I
happy to have
appreciate
you.
y'all. Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, we're definitely happy to have you. D League was created to kind of be that stepping stone into the draft format, as it's for some people who've never drafted before or some who are getting into competitive. It's a bit much. You get a set of 11 Pokemon by tier, and you have to figure out how to make the best team every week. And I mean, just by your record, you're showing that at this point anyone can join a draft league as long as it's organized and clear cut and do as well. But I will go ahead and wrap this up. So again, thank you, Max, for jumping on with me, giving us your input, and letting the viewers know who you are as a battler and honestly as a person. You seem really, really cool, and we're happy to have you. As always, guys,
Appreciate that.
go ahead and check us out on the New Frontier Facebook group. The link is in the description below. This has been Nate, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.